What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Let's go ahead and break down the current college football playoff picture. So I've got this in a tier list ranking. We've got it broken down into the locks, winning you're in, and then good luck. I'll explain what that means here in a minute. First off, let's talk about the locks. So again, there's not too many teams left with how this played out today. Miami is out officially. They got knocked out today. As far as the locks, as of right now, I've got 8 of them. Oregon, they're in no matter what happens, win or lose. Ohio State, they're in. They won't be in the Big Ten championship, but they're in. Texas is in, win or lose the SEC championship. Notre Dame is in. Georgia is in, win or lose. Penn State, same thing. They're in, win or lose the Big Ten championship. Tennessee is in, and Indiana are in. Notre Dame, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Indiana won't be playing next week in the championships, but they're in. All right, so then we've got win and in. So these are the teams that need a dub this next week in the championships to clinch their ticket to the playoff. I've got one with a caveat. We'll talk about them, though, at the end. We'll start on the right here. Iowa State, Colorado, Arizona State. So this is the Big 12. The winner of the Big 12 is getting in. Loser's not getting in. So as far as the scenario right now, all right, BYU is still playing as of the making of this video. If BYU beats Houston, Iowa State is in versus Arizona State. If BYU loses to Houston, Colorado's in, Iowa State is out. So it'll be depending on what BYU does. If BYU wins, Iowa State's in. If BYU loses, Colorado's in. Both of them will play Arizona State. Then we've got UNLV and Boise State. The winner of the Mountain West Championship will be in. Loser will be out. Then we've got the ACC Championship. SMU and Clemson. The winner is in. Clemson is in with a win. That's it, though. So that lost South Carolina today screwed up their chances. Now, SMU, they're the only team here listed on win and in that I think could lose and still get in. I don't know exactly what is going to happen there because you've got 3 teams down here that are vying for one spot that I'll get to in a minute. SMU is the only team, though, here that I think could lose and still get in because you've got the argument of a 2-loss ACC team versus a 3-loss SEC team. So on the good luck teams, Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, as of right now with the scenario I've laid out, there's 11 teams in. Okay, so you've got the 8 locks up top. You've got the 1 conference champion from each one. So you've got 8 locks. ACC, that's 9. Mountain West, that's 10. Big 12, that's 11. Then you've got one of the 3 teams here. Now, if Clemson wins, that's where you throw things into a loop here. Let's say Clemson dips SMU, gets in. So that would come down to an SMU argument versus, I would say, probably a South Carolina argument. I think South Carolina's best case to have the tiebreaker over these 3 is for Clemson to win because the only thing I could say now, if SMU wins, by the way, one of these schools is in no matter what at the bottom. I don't know who it's going to be. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But if Clemson wins, that's where you run into the questionable scenario. Is SMU still in with a loss? Now, the argument would be Clemson just got beat by South Carolina this past week, and then they go ahead and beat SMU. So that means South Carolina technically should probably be better than SMU. They should get in over them. But do they value less losses with SMU having 2 versus South Carolina having 3? Now, if SMU wins, Clemson's for sure out. That would still keep you at 11, and that would mean one of these teams right here is getting in since Miami lost today. Now, I don't know how they're going to necessarily go down that rabbit hole of who wins or who gets in out of these 3 because Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss all have 3 losses, all have pretty fairly similar resumes. Now, South Carolina probably has, I would say, the best resume. They don't necessarily have the wins, but they don't have the losses. Now, Alabama and Ole Miss, the thing going for them, they both beat Georgia. And South Carolina, they have lost games to these teams. But South Carolina, though, again, doesn't have that bad loss to a crappy SEC team. Ole Miss lost to Florida. Alabama lost to Oklahoma. Now, Florida is playing better as of late. South Carolina has the win over Clemson. So, again, it's going to come down to a pretty tough tiebreaker scenario here. I don't know what's going to happen. But, again, we've got 8 locks. You've got those champions. And then the real questionable thing, if Clemson wins, that's where you have an argument of SMU versus one of these 3-loss SEC schools. But if SMU wins, one of these 3 teams is getting in: Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss. I think South Carolina is playing the best right now, but Alabama's got the name recognition. I think Ole Miss has the highest upside. So if you're going to ask me out of those 3 teams who I thought could make the best run, it would definitely probably not be South Carolina, but I think South Carolina is playing the most consistent ball right now. Ole Miss has got the upside, but Alabama's got the name recognition. If it comes down to that, I think South Carolina's got the tiebreaker right now, but I would not be shocked if Alabama got in. I don't think Ole Miss gets in, though. But If that scenario happens, let's say SMU beats Clemson, so that's 11 teams. Which one of those three gets in? Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss? Let me know down in the comment section. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.